Hey y'all, Eric here with another LGBT history moment. So happy LGBT History Month. Um, I'm post workout, and so I was thinking about this on my walk that I did before the weight workout part of my workout, and so I give you fair warning. My throat is a little dry, and I'm thinking maybe I may have picked up something outside. It actually is October when we're supposed to get our flu shots, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to schedule it at Harris Teeter to get the flu shot on Sunday to see if that will help. But it's my own fault for not washing my face immediately after I came back in, all pollen and germs and things like that. Anyway, back to the topic here. So while I was walking and working out, of course, I pay attention to the news. I do. And I saw an article on my news feed on my phone called Smart News. I get my news through Smart News, The Hill, 1440, and various political content creators like Brian Tyler Cohen, um, um, oh, Keith Boykin, um, and several others, the Bulwart, and several others. Some of their names escape me right now. But what I've been thinking about, particularly with that news article that I saw, it was in reference to FBI Director Kash Patel. It wasn't in a lot of news cycles that I could see. I mean, I'm not surprised. But these are distractionary. The main things are distractionary tactics by the distractor in chief to move our focus away from what is really going on. And so, for the LGBTQ plus community, there are things that we need to pay attention to because the population at large may miss them. And one of the things in that news article, and it's just the very simple heinousness of Kash Patel under the direction of the distractor in chief. Kash Patel fired an FBI agent who was in training, and who is a non agent status, and moved them into training. And they were actually moved into training after being part of the FBI in the non-agent capacity for a number of years, and they were in training and almost finished. Almost finished. This particular agent in 2024 put a pride flag on their desk, just sitting on the desk in honor of Pride Month in June. Nothing was said. And again, 2024, nothing was said to this person at the time. And we fast forward now to more than a year and a half, nearly a year and a half later. Kash Patel fired this agent, and the reason was just exactly that. He's using the DEI policy of the Trump administration to fire people. And again, the FBI now is on an assault. The overall assault is if you are not straight, white, and male, you're under attack. That's the crux of it. And so Kash Patel has now joined with Pete Hegseth, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, all of them now coming after the whole of the LGBTQ plus community, even so much as erasing pride crosswalks. They go back, the rebellion goes back and repaints them, and then they get painted over again by city workers who have no choice, either lose your job or repaint it. And so, fortunately, the people who are repainting them understand that they're not attacking the workers because they're just following orders. But the purpose of this video today is in part remembering Stonewall and what Stonewall actually was about and why we celebrate it and remember it today. I mean, we know the story that the LGBT people of New York City would go to the Stonewall under guise and under secret. We know that the mob ran it. The drink prices were overpriced. They were watered down. And they were the subject of continual raids and arrests for just being who they are. Well, finally, they had had enough. They were done. And of course, we celebrate the two drag queens who were given credit with actually lighting the match that started the gay rights movement, which morphed into the LGBTQ plus rights movement. One of the truly umbrella movements of our time and our history. But I think not enough people are understanding how important this is in today's age. I mean, sure, I marched in the parade this year in Charlotte Pride with the Chamber of Commerce, which is a nonpartisan nonprofit for LGBT plus and allyship businesses, which focuses on the businesses that we have and our growth in the professional realm. But we are, as a nonprofit, the Chamber itself is nonpartisan. But I was happy to participate, and I'm happy to be a member, and I'm happy to volunteer. But the attack on our nation, excuse me, I have had this protein drink that I found in Costco. It has 32 grams of protein. It has no sugar in it. It does not spike my blood sugar as a diabetic. And it's actually pretty decent. Fills me up. So that's part of it. And then I had a scratchy throat, so I put cough drops in, and cough drops made me burp. So there's the explanation for that. But anyway, I just don't understand why more people are not upset about this. And I was just at a candidate event on celebrating LGBT history at the Chamber offices yesterday. Celebrating here in Charlotte that once the election results are in after November the 4th this year, the Charlotte City Council may very well have the most out LGBT representatives in the history of the Charlotte City Council, with a representative of Dante Anderson, who is the current Mayor Pro Tem and District 1 representative, Lawana Mayfield, who is the current one of the current at-large council members who started out as a District 3 representative, being the first out LGBT lesbian to be on city council. And then now, J.D. Arias, who has defeated the incumbent to be the Democratic elect representative, who is also an out gay Latino, will be the first Latin out queer male on the city council ever in the history of city council. And he's from District 5 in the east part of Charlotte. And so while we can laud those steps forward, the big picture is that the L, the B, the T, the G, and the Q are under attack. Stonewall, just so you can see that instead of my mug. This is the Stonewall Inn's website. And you can go to that. I don't have the address up there, but I'll link it in the description of this video. That I think the feeling and the tenet changed when we achieved gay marriage. When we achieved the equal right to marry. And I always talk about it this way. Oh, I didn't gain the right to marry. I was given the right to marry back because I was born with the right to marry, because by virtue of the fact that I'm a U.S. citizen. But I'm just going to call them off while you look at this. Even the Stonewall Inn Museum has been attacked, with the Parks and Services department that oversee all of the museums were given a directive by the Trump administration to erase any reference to transgendered folks or names in the museum. Excuse me, the reason that Stonewall is celebrated is because of transgendered women and drag queens. Drag queen story time across this country is being attacked because we're supposedly grooming children. I would much rather have any child of mine go to a drag queen story telling than to send them to a Catholic church, than to send them to a private school where books are being banned, than to send them to some sports team in a private school where they might be sexually abused. And yes, all of those entities that I have named have been in the news lately because of people in those entities being arrested and charged with child sexual abuse. No drag queen has been accused of that. No drag queen has been arrested for that. No transgendered person has been arrested for that. But a transgendered person, whether they are male or female, trying to live their lives, they have been murdered because of that. Then we have Pete Hegseth, who is trying, he's not trying, he's already done it, that LGBT service people, transgendered people, veterans are being removed from military service and from a veteran's status of benefits. One of the people that I was fortunate to meet and work with on the Kansas City Mid-America Chamber of Commerce has made the decision to sell her house, and she and her wife are having to move because they don't feel safe in the home that they created together, and because she is a veteran and served this country. She is going to, if she hasn't already, lose her benefits because she is a trans woman. I did a video yesterday remembering and honoring Harvey Milk, who was a Navy service person who was honored with a name being placed on a U.S. naval ship. Pete Hegseth removed his name and replaced it with someone else's name, ironically, who had already been named on a U.S. naval ship, but that ship was actually decommissioned and torn apart for parts. Pete Hegseth is also changing back names to Confederate era names on military bases that the Biden administration and the Obama administration had removed for the sake of moving the needle forward. So this video, while I'm honoring Stonewall and not really talking about the events that happened the night of Stonewall, but Stonewall should be a reminder to all of us that this is not playtime. And while I don't have it up, I'll wrap this video up by talking about Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas has been in the news lately because he has said and has laid out his goal of reversing the gay marriage rule of the law of the land. He has said that. There have been many news posts out there about that. And the one that I saw, I'll try to find it again and I'll just put it in there. It's been on Facebook, it's been on Instagram, I'm pretty sure it's been on X, and other social media platforms through Substack, which I don't have a Substack account. I don't even have an X account because once Elon Musk bought it, I deleted and closed my account. But I just might get a free one, uncertified one again, just so I can keep up with crap. But I don't know yet. Because at some point this can get overwhelming. But anyway, two of the Facebook posts regarding what Clarence Thomas said, and on Instagram, I was just so incensed that I just went ahead and put it out there on the post, and I don't care who sees it. I don't care if Clarence Thomas himself sees it. But Loving versus Virginia, the court case that made interracially mixed marriages the law of the land, which legitimized me because my parents were children of interracially mixed marriages, which made my parents illegitimate children, which made me an illegitimate child until the early 1970s when Loving versus Virginia case was processed, and it became the law of the land that it was no longer illegal for different races to marry. And so my post and my response to Clarence Thomas, that if the Supreme Court overturns gay marriage being the law of the land, I don't care what I have to do or who I have to find. I will find a lawyer who will take up this case, and I will do whatever I can do to reverse Loving versus Virginia. And here's why. I will give up my legitimacy and go back to being a bastard. Of course, I have been called that by other people. Just so it will be illegal for Clarence Thomas to be married to his white wife. That it will be illegal for Mitch McConnell to be married to his Asian wife. That it will be illegal for Vice President J.D. Vance to be married to his Indian wife. I would gladly do that if Clarence Thomas goes forward and tries to overturn the gay marriage law. I'm happy to do it, and I hope other people would join me in doing that. Because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Now, all of us can't do everything, but some of us can do some things. Some of us can make phone calls. Some of us can write letters. Some of us can protest. Some of us can create content. Some of us can share the content. Some of us can add comments defending the content, but also refuting the content with facts. The right has it. The left doesn't have nearly the amount that is needed to combat what the right has. And that has to change. That has to change. I won't be protesting on October 18th because I have 2 meetings that day. So I won't be out there, but I might be streaming it and I might be doing videos about it. But again, we all can do something. This is what protest is called. It is written in our Constitution that we can do this. Everyone can do something, because I will tell you, complacency is nothing short of allowing them to do what it is they're doing. Hashtag elections have consequences all the way down to the local level. I've never said that before at the end of my videos, but after listening to some of the candidates yesterday about their relationships with other council members and even the mayor, hashtag elections have consequences all the way down and including the state level, the county level, and the city level. Remember that. Remember that, and remember the Stonewall. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.